In the animated film Coco, and if you have not seen it, you need to go watch it. It is a must see. In that film, they talk about how when people cross over, and they talk about how when you keep the ancestors in your mouth, when you talk about them, they never really die. I was born to my mom as her only child. And while she did phenomenal things for so many people, mentally, she was a support. Emotionally, she was a support. Financially, she was a huge support for so many, if outside of just me. And her presence is something that nobody forgets. My mom and I have this thing, and I say it all the time about me. You will never find anybody that just says, oh, yeah, Kim. They either go, oh my God, they love me, or they don't like me. You will never find anybody that's just like in between, because I don't give that kind of energy. I'm going to make an impact one way or the other. And sometimes the impact is that they love to hate me. It's like, oh my God, we love her, but she gets on our nerves. And one of the things I know that I do, I I'm a change agent. I am going to always challenge you in your thinking, in your thought process. I'm not the person that just sits there and goes, oh, yeah, okay, okay. You start talking, I'm going to say, well, let me ask you a question. And that's going to begin a dialogue. At least that's what I hope happens. Now, everybody doesn't like a dialogue, and I get that. And there was a time when I was like, oh my gosh, you need to stop that. But no, that's just me. And if I rub you the wrong way, I don't mind apologizing. And if I'm just not your cup of tea, that's okay too. But I'm going to always ask, because I don't know what you don't know. And if I never say anything and I sit there and I don't, to me, when you're having a conversation with somebody, you are wanting input. Because anything that we don't want input on, we keep to ourselves. Let's just keep it real. And we know we all keep secrets. We'd rather put something on Facebook or social media before we say it to a person. That's why we love texting, because we can hide behind it and pretend like everything is okay. Nevertheless, this week, as we count up to, I have so many emotions this week. Because number one, on the 29th, my oldest, is his birthday. And that's also the same day that my mom left here. She died on his birthday. We took her off life support. She held over. We took her off life support on the 28th, and she held over to right over until the 29th. And that's when she passed. I always tell my son, I know that that's her way of letting you know she's always with you. Emotionally, it's always something for me, because I understand when one person leaves, it gives life on this side. So I feel like that was a transitional, well, it was obviously a transitional period, but not just for her into her new normal, but for all of us into ours. And one of the things I always do for my mom, or about my mom doing this week, is I do it for her birthday week, and I do it for Mother's Day week, and I do it during the week of her death. I always share the wisdom of Carolyn Guy, because the wisdom of Carolyn Guy was phenomenal. One of the things she always taught me was to always communicate. So I am a communicator. It is so hard for me. I'm not that person that can fake. I'm not that person that can just act like nothing happened, because that's not how Mama was. Mama was very much a communicator. She was going to talk. It may not have made you comfortable all the time, but she was going to push you. She was going to promote, and she was going to say, and it was always good intentions. And that's one of the things that I love about her. And that's one of the things I teach my children. Because the things that you are not able to talk about are the things that are going to whoop you. Think about it. Every time you have a subject that you can't talk about, and you sweep it under the rug, or you wait until it doesn't matter anymore, after a while, you cannot even hold that rug down. And your body becomes the absorption for all of that pain, frustration, hurt, and silence, and you begin, like I told you with voice. I told you guys early on, my mom gave me a voice, my mom and my dad. And I know they gave me the voice for empowerment, because you cannot correct, you cannot adjust things that you do not confront. So basically, you just live life like hoping that you never run into a problem. Come on now. We're always going to have a problem. If you try to connect yourself with anybody outside of yourself, and like I always say, sometimes you wrestle with your own self. Anytime you try to connect, you're going to run into a problem. So you want to know how to solve a problem. We always say things like, I thank God because he solved a problem. You cannot have a testimony without a test. So instead of running from your test, begin to turn your tests into testimonies by just taking a few moments. Actually confront it privately. You know, that's one of the things she taught me. She was like, okay, you know what? Think about what you want to say. If you cannot address it right then, think about what, why, who, and figure that out, and then figure out how to address it. But by all means, address it. So this week, when you hear Carolinisms, there you go, Carolinisms, just know it's for my Carolyn Ruth Smith Guy. The lady who gave birth to me, the woman I miss the most. Mama, you know you could have stayed around. You already know what I'm talking about, because I know you see what's going on. I know you know. Anywho, I love her. She was amazing, and we will never let her memory die, because that woman was phenomenal. She was full of intellect. I was telling my children today that I would say, well, Mama, I thought. Well, we'll do that one tomorrow. But anyway, just think about that. Remember, thought and thinking, because that's going to be tomorrow, Carolinisms. So, have a great week. Yes, you are going to be getting it. And then at the same token, she was the one that called my son Mr. Wonderful. That was Miles' name. Everything about he was a preemie. We'll talk all about that. But this week, you're going to get some good wisdom. You're going to figure out and learn a little bit more about me. And I hope you find something that you can use for yourself. It's been your girl, Candid with Kim. I am celebrating my mommy this week.